Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our Sheffield United RTG career mode. We return today as we're going to head into the official second half of the season, where after 17 league games, 8 of those have been draws, but we do still remain undefeated. We're kicking off in the first game of today's episode. It's Boxing Day and we're away at the Amex. Well, you would have seen from our starting lineup pre-game that we are struggling a little bit with injury at the moment. Got quite a few players playing the game who are quite fatigued. Kirkez left back, the spine of our team, Sangare and Sucic as well. But we've got quite a few little knocks throughout the team that players are missing out via. As Sucic, I've got that completely wrong. Yeah, a couple of players missing out due to little knocks, Calvert-Lewin and Bogle. So quite a few changes to the team today. Sangare doing what he does best. Matthews finds Luca. We are missing a bit of firepower today. No João Pedro, no Calvert-Lewin. Matthews, nice turn. Cam, Harmer and Nicholson puts it off target. Buonanotte gets round Hayden. And still Buonanotte pegs it back. And Brighton do take the lead, and it's their number 9. They replace João Pedro, who's now at us, but Brighton won't care, and we could be on course for our first defeat of the season. Luka Jovic opens the scoring for De Zerbi's side. Well, I'm looking to my bench here, and I've made all 5 changes in one go as we search for that equaliser. And it might come here. Cameron Archer, there's the goal. Castrovilli. Ball into Buonanotte, assisted the first, and in that same position where he created that first goal. That's nicely worked, and Bazunu, feel like he should have been doing better there, and Brighton take the lead with 11 minutes to play, and maybe that first defeat of the season is on the cards. Nicholson does well to win it back, has to be now. João Pedro, the sub. Looking to get away from Koch, will use the run as a decoy. João Pedro against his former team. João Pedro! It would be him. Did all the hard work by himself, and he does rescue a point late on. The former Seagull comes back to the Amex and scores the late equaliser. And that is going to do it. It's a 2-2 draw on the south coast. Another draw for Sheffield United, and that's now 9 draws and 9 wins this season. I do feel like that loss is going to come at some point, especially with the injuries and fatigue that we're facing. Decent point away on the road, and it's João Pedro with the late equaliser for the Blades. On to Fulham at home in midweek. So Fulham up next, returning to Bramall Lane, and lots of changes once again with this coming in midweek. This busy Christmas period is really testing our squad. Need to return to winning ways here. So Calvert-Lewin returns to the lineup today, but our hand was sort of forced due to the number of players we've got injured and fatigued, but it's that man who opens the scoring. Calvert-Lewin back from just a little knock, wasn't out for too long, but missed the previous game against Brighton and still working his way back to fitness. But he does get the opening goal here. Free header, couple of yards out. He's never going to miss from there. Calvert-Lewin is back. Kenneth Taylor, former player in our career mode last year, takes the corner. Alcaraz. That's a good ball to Calvert-Lewin, and he's away from his man. Still Calvert-Lewin. Brilliant hold-up play. What a pass to Carlos. And Alcaraz finishes. What an assist from DCL. That is brilliant by our English number 9. And Carlos Alcaraz, who I've struggled to get on with at times this year, scores the second goal here. Brilliant hold-up play from Dom, and then plays it over the top, and Carlos finishes to make it 2. Well, I think that will do it. Pretty comfortable in the end. And Fulham didn't have an answer for us in the second half. Able to see out our work that was done in the first half and return to winning ways. So at exactly the halfway stage of the Premier League season, it's still very, very tight and congested, all the way down to Manchester United in 7th. I think it's fair to say we've got an outside shot of competing for the Premier League title this year. It's not my main priority. I just want to make sure we finish in that top 4 and qualify for the Champions League next year, although I did say I'd be happy with any form of European football. We've also got the FA Cup third round draw, which will come after this game at Bramall Lane against Crystal Palace, where we will be taking on Manchester United away at Old Trafford. We've not had the luck of the draw this time around, and we've done well in the Cups throughout the course of this save, but that's a really tricky test. We've obviously got the Carabao Cup Semi Final, which we should also see both legs of in today's episode, but the FA Cup third round tie against United is going to be a tough one to get through. It's Crystal Palace up next in the league as we look to close the gap to Manchester City and Liverpool just ahead of us in the league. Pretty strong lineup for us today as we're starting to see some of our injured players returning to the lineup. And Gustavo Harmer opens the scoring 35 minutes in. It's been a cagey game so far, but Luca offloads to Gus. And the Dutchman fires us into the lead. Starting to get those players back from injury now. And just at the right time as we head into the busy second half of the season. Break could be on here if we can play this perfectly. Cam into João Pedro. Still the Brazilian. Lovely little turn. And there's Hackney for 2. What an assist from João Pedro. And it's our 2 central midfielders on the score sheet just before the break. The Blades double their lead. Well, there it is. Comfortable win in the end. Very similar fashion to the Fulham game previously. Did our damage early on and then just saw the game out in the second half. Another win for the Blades, and that makes it back-to-back in the league. So just after that game here, we've got loads of emails. We are obviously now into the January transfer window. Now, one of the young wingers from Ivory Coast that we had, Silla, has left to join Sivasspor in Turkey. Terje Anderson's gone out on loan to Pisa. We've got a Youth Academy update, which we'll take a look at in a minute, and quite a few bids here. One for Nicholson, which will certainly be rejected. Bid for Seamus from Stade de Reims as well. And also a big bid from Stuttgart for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Those are big bids coming in here. We're going to turn all of them down. I've got absolutely no reason to sell at the moment with where we are with this Sheffield United team. So all of these going to be turned down, and a big one for the captain. Chelsea again. We've already sold Lloyd Kelly and Giles. There's no way I'm letting the captain go there, and I think in January as well that there's no way that the Bosnian would leave. He's captain of the club. He's our main man. There's no way I'm letting him go. We've also seen that Connor Manning, which is a name you may remember, has rejoined after his loans expired. We've got some decent looking players. Isaac Rodgers, I like the look of him, but I'm just not sure he's going to make it with Aliou coming through the ranks. And yeah, I think for the time being, I'm just going to leave all of these guys here until we feel the need to promote them. As for Connor Manning, looks like it was a pretty decent loan spell for him. Up 2 ratings to 70. He's got some pretty decent stats, Connor. I really like him. He's absolutely rapid. Good agility, so he's quite nimble. Decent strength as well. And some of his technicals for a striker are very, very good as well. Finishing's decent. The shot power's very good. And his dribbling's pretty high as well, which means he's very good on the ball. I think for the time being, I'm going to stick a development plan on him as he will continue to grow pretty quickly. But I am also going to stick him on the loan list once again to try and loan him out. Oh, now there's an interesting natural bid here for our third choice goalkeeper, Riley Murray. Only ever played 1 game for the club, which was all the way back in season 1 on the final day against Spurs. And with him being a Scotsman going back home to his native country, Rangers, I think that's a good deal. He's never going to play for us. We've got keepers with better potential. So for Riley Murray, I'm going to say if you want to head back home to Scotland, then the choice is yours. Right, time to switch our attention to the Cup. It's the FA Cup third round. Manchester United away at Old Trafford. Really, really tough test. But I don't want to exit this competition early, so I'm going with a full strength team despite having the first leg of our EFL Cup Semi Final in midweek. Come on, you Blades. United have made the better start here, but as we win the ball back from the corner, Luca can bring it forward. And despite being underdogs in most of the games we've played here, we've got a decent record at Old Trafford as Kirkes comes infield, knocked back to Gustavo Harmer, and a decent save by Onana, but one that you'd expect him to make. First chance of the game for the Blades as Calvert-Lewin, oh, it's off the woodwork, and Hackney can't win the header. It will fall to David Alaba. He's dispossessed by Højlund. Oh, and Sucic dispossesses Koku. Luca away from his man, has Dom in support. Great opportunity this. Calvert-Lewin. Oh, it's a big save by Onana. And he really should have finished the chance. I was caught in two minds, and you'll see Onana move across to that near post. It's brilliant anticipation from the keeper as Luca floats the corner in, looking for Calvert-Lewin, and there he is. Third time lucky for Dom, and that's why I picked a strong lineup for this game. Calvert-Lewin heads us into the lead. Into the second half here, Sangare, Archer, Luca does well to hold off his man. Harmer gets to the byline. There's a man at the back post. It's Hackney, and it's 2. And now we can start thinking about Wednesday night. Sheffield United double their advantage, and we look to be heading through to the fourth round of the Cup. Game's starting to open up now, and there could be chances on the break as Manning sent through. Connor Manning, it's 3. Connor returns from his loan spell and says, don't send me out on loan, Gaffer. Keep me here at the club. Well, he's making a name for himself. Connor Manning back from his, I think it was a 2-year loan spell, returning to the club and saying, do not forget my name. Need to get him out of those awful EA boots because this lad deserves better. 3-0, Sheffield United through to the fourth round. And there is the whistle. No late fight back from Manchester United. And a dominant win in the end. Through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. And we really are making a name for ourselves as the Cup Kings. Speaking of, Carabao Cup Semi Final. First leg up next against Spurs. Corner for the Blades here, early doors. We have got a strong lineup out there tonight, despite this coming in midweek. And Calvert-Lewin is there again. Perfect start for the Blades. And with this first leg coming at home, we need to make sure we get a good result to take to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And that is the perfect start just 6 minutes in. Calvert-Lewin heads us into the lead. Alfie Devine, good play. Son ahead of him. And the Spurs captain up against Harmer. Son does well. Oh, it's really nicely worked. And oh, it's somehow found its way in from Alfie Devine. And that will silence the home crowd. Need to see that again on the replays. I'm not sure how it wormed its way in. Son does well. Sangare gets beaten. And, well, I think Stefan should probably be doing better. I think it goes through the legs, yeah, onto the nutsack, into the roof of the net. And Spurs are level. Now it's the Spurs fans that are up, but Sucic with bodies ahead of him. Lovely 1-2. Lucas Sucic tried to poke it under Vicario, who did well. This has been a cracking start to the game here. And it really is end-to-end. Hayden. Sucic turned away by... Sorry, it's not Vicario. It's Unai Simon in there. And Hackney will swing the corner in from the other side. Calvert-Lewin, it's 2! Dominic Calvert-Lewin is on fire. And this man cannot stop scoring at the moment. Branthwaite, good ball into Hackney. And Port Spurs up the pitch here. Hackney finds João Pedro, who's been quiet today. Hackney, brilliant ball to Kirkes. What a chance for 3, and it's a big save by Unai Simon. Eyes lit up from the Hungarian. He maybe could have pegged it back for a teammate, but a good save by the Spaniard. And now Gus Harmer, there is the 3rd. Gustavo makes it 3. And we've got one pinky in the Carabao Cup final for the 2nd year in a row. Still a long way to go, but that's a big, big goal. It's a 3-1 victory for the Blades, and that is a great first leg performance. Still 90 minutes to play at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and the job is most certainly not done just yet, but we're halfway there. And we're just seeing the deal for Riley Murray go through here. So he has decided to head back to his native Scotland. I can't blame him. He's probably going to be first or second choice in a couple of years' time over in Glasgow. And I think what that means, instead of going out and buying a new goalkeeper, with Aliou coming back to the club next season, I'm just going to promote Isaac Rodgers, this young English goalkeeper. Gets another player out of the youth academy, and there's no need to go and buy someone when we've got Aliou returning to the club after his loan to Southampton. So just for realism's sake, we'll keep Isaac Rodgers in the team as our 3rd choice goalkeeper, at least until the end of the season, and then we'll decide whether we want to loan him out or just sell him on a permanent. It leads away at Ellen Road, sandwiched in between these 2 Carabao Cup Semi Final matches. Here's the lineup, hoping to continue our good form here today with another 3 points. Vinny into Gabriel. Brazilians linking up. Got a few Brazilians in the squad now, haven't we? Here's one of the academy grads though. Oh, what a ball, and what a piece of defending that is. There's a tap in at the back post for Cam. I'm not sure who it was who flew across. It's a good play. Williams. Leeds got a decent little team here. Williams again. Still has it. Hackney through the gap to Anel, who can bring it forward. It's pretty hard to stop once he gets going. Oh, and Vinny Sousa's given it away. Now we could be in trouble. Hackney doesn't get there. Adley, brilliant ball, and it's 1-0 Leeds, and that all came from trying to play out the back and counter with Anel. Kamara opens the scoring. João Pedro. Archer's on the run, waits for Sucic instead, and Luca surely, oh my goodness. Well, as I was running through there, my thumb slipped on the shoot button, powered up the shot, and then absolutely skied it. Good football this from Leeds. Kamara again. Oh, what a ball. It's 2. And that first loss could be coming here at Ellen Road. Patrick Schick, the Czech Republic international, makes it 2. And Leeds have been brilliant in this opening 42 minutes. Big second half needed from us here. Wasn't good enough in that first 45, but 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline, because if we get the next goal, there's every chance we find a route back into things. And Luca, that's brilliant. Nicholson, great block. This is more like it though from the Blades, searching for that goal back. Gabriel into João Pedro, nice bit of skill. And João Pedro has Kirkes storming down the left. Great opportunity there, surely for a goal back. Drilled across to Cam. And there is our goal back. 23 minutes to play. Can we find an equaliser? Leeds doing a good job of seeing this game out, but only takes one opportunity. Alcaraz around the corner for João Pedro. Back to Carlos Alcaraz. What a save. Well, I think that is going to do it. The ball exactly where Leeds want it. And João Mario swings the cross in. Bazunu gathers, but I don't think there is going to be time. And that will do it for Leeds. Our first defeat of the season. And it comes at Ellen Road, and right before that Carabao Cup Semi Final second leg. The unbeaten streak in the league is over, and Leeds pick up all 3 points here. Right, we've just had the tournament prize money for the FA Cup, so we'll find out who we've got in the 4th round. But also, massive bid here from Aston Villa for Harry Matthews, academy graduate from Wales. I think for now, in January, I don't really have any reason to sell. Just signed a new deal in the summer. So despite the big bid from Unai Emery's side, I'm going to reject for now and say to Harry's, give me at least until the summer and then we'll assess where we're at. He's had a pretty decent season in his first season in the first team. So yeah, Harry's not going anywhere, at least for now. Big bid from Villa though. So before we get to this semi-final second leg, let's find out who it is we will face. Aston Villa, another really tough test in the FA Cup. No EFL sides this season. It's Aston Villa away at Villa Park. Right, second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. We hold that 3-1 aggregate lead from the first leg at Bramall Lane, but returning to London here, I'm sure Tottenham are going to put up a fight. Let's see if we can make Wembley for the second time in 2 years. Good atmosphere here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in these early stages. And Spurs need to get their act together if they want to get back into this game. If we get the first goal, you'd think it would probably be game and tie over and the Blades heading back to Wembley. Here goes Jadon down the right. Opportunity, drills it in. Oh, it's a scramble. And I think it was a little bit of defender, little bit of Unai Simon, and it's kept out regardless. However, if Spurs are able to find that next goal, it will most certainly be tie and game back on. And there is the goal as Oscar fires in the first goal of tonight's game. Brilliant strike, and Spurs are back into it. Campos away from Sangare, not once but twice. Darwin Núñez, it's 2. And Spurs have levelled the tie up before we even get to half-time. Campos did well, rolls it into Darwin Núñez, and even he isn't going to miss from there. Good strike from the Uruguayan. And despite having that lead from the first leg, Sheffield United are pegged back. This really could go either way with 15 minutes to go. Lo Celso. Alaba to B. The Argentinian's done well. It's worked back, and Stefan just about palms it behind for the corner. Spurs crowd are up, and they feel like they are favourites to get the next goal. Oh, it's a poor clearance, that. Really poor clearance. What a tackle, David Alaba. And we are just about holding on here. Corner for Spurs. Dangerous ball. Stefan should claim and does. And there we are. All level after 3 hours of football, and we'll be heading for an extra half an hour here. No, I'm wrong. It's not an extra half an hour. It's straight to the spot kicks to decide who will take their place at Wembley. Campos up first. Oh, and Stefan went the right way, but it's a great penalty. David Alaba, the vet, going top corner, and Alaba smashes it in. Darwin Núñez was a handful all game. Núñez, and again, Stefan goes the right way but just can't get there. Calvert-Lewin. Same corner, this time denied. And Porro has the chance to give Spurs the advantage. What a penalty that is. And now João Pedro really has to score. João Pedro sends Simon the wrong way. We need Stefan to save one. He's gone the right way on each one, but this time he guesses wrong. Spurs one spot kick away from the final. Sučić scores. And it's all down to this. Giovanni Lo Celso for Tottenham. scores, and the Blades are out, and Tottenham are heading to Wembley. That is heartbreak for the Blades. Well, Stefan guessed right on the first three, but didn't get near either of them. And after we held that 2-goal lead heading into the second leg, I said that the tie wasn't done. And after our loss to Leeds at the weekend, we were unable to score here, and it's Spurs heading to Wembley. Well, we'll find out who it is that Spurs will face in the final. Most people will have their money on Chelsea, but you just never know. It is Tottenham v Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final. Chelsea won at Stamford Bridge to knock out Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace side. And it will be the two London rivals competing at Wembley at the end of February. I'm gutted that we didn't make it through. The wait for a trophy goes on. And now after back-to-back defeats, we travel to Villa Park looking to keep our FA Cup hopes alive. If we go out here as well, it's been an absolutely calamitous end to this episode. Come on, you Blades. We need to make it through to the 5th round. The wait for a trophy does go on, but still technically in the hunt for the Premier League as João Pedro heads in the opener. Although I don't think it's going to happen this season. The FA Cup is probably our likeliest chance of silverware. Obviously still in the Europa League as well, which will recommence soon, but I don't see us being favourites for that in our first season. Great start here. Derby loses out to Kirkes. João Pedro back to the Hungarian, and Milos up against Morgala, who's more of a centre-back. João Pedro, oh, it's a great effort. And it's well kept out by the Villa shot stopper. Hackney will swing the corner in. It's a dangerous ball. Calvert-Lewin's there. And the Blades double their lead. The corner merchants are at it again. And Calvert-Lewin is back on the score sheet. Great response from the lads, this. Playing at such a high tempo. Looking for that third to kill the game off. Nicholson, decent ball. Sucic is up in the air. And Hackney, it's 3. And Hayden Hackney scores for the second round in a row in the FA Cup. The ball's just up in the air. He wants it more. He gets there first and he heads home. And what has turned into an electric first half here at Villa Park. Not for the home fans, but for those travelling Blades fans. What a performance. And we lead by 3, surely into the 5th round. Although Villa looking for a fight back and it's cleared. Well, it's a very late corner for Villa here in the 94th minute of the game. Paredes gets up and surely that's going to do it, ref. Where is that whistle? There it is. Sheffield United with a massive win in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Through to the 5th round after 2 really tough draws in the 3rd and 4th round, but this is exactly the bounce back victory we needed after back-to-back defeats and being knocked out of the Carabao Cup. So we'll close out today's video with transfer deadline day, although with just £3 million in the budget, I don't see us bringing anyone in on deadline day. Don't really have any reason to sell anybody within the squad heading into the second half of the season, so I expect this to be a quick one. Alright then guys, 3 hours left on transfer deadline day, and not a new signing, but we have got a bit of business to do. And that is to offer this man a new contract. He's not played a huge amount this year, only 8 appearances, with most of them coming in the Europa League. But I'd quite like to keep him until he retires, so we're going to offer him a 1-year extension on his current deal. So Kyle has signed a new 1-year deal. He's taken a slight wage decrease to 28,000, and he's just really here as a dressing room leader and a mentor for the young man Patrick Nicholson. So Walker's extension is complete, and with 3 hours left there may still be an incoming through the door at Sheffield United. And yet there it is, Dominic Solanke is here, currently out in Spain. at Girona, having a great season in real life, and I saw that he was available for a short-term loan. So Dominic Solanke will join us for 6 months until the end of the season. No obligation or mandatory buy option, but I thought, as a backup with the Europa League returning soon, there's not really any harm in it. He's a decent little squad player, 77 overall, so got no issues chucking him in to the lineup in those midweek games or in the Europa League. Big fan of this guy in real life. He's pretty quick, he's strong, and he's a good finisher as well. He reminds me a little bit of Daniel Jebison, who of course at the moment is still out injured for another 5 weeks. So if we do pick up any further injuries, we know that we've got Dominic Solanke there, and as he's only on loan, it doesn't matter if he doesn't play a single minute between now and the end of the season. So Dominic Solanke loaned in on deadline day, and a new 1-year extension for Kyle Walker. You can see the top deals on the right hand side of the screen there, with James Maddison leaving Spurs for Germany, taking the Harry Kane approach, and Andy Robertson returning to England to join up with Pep Guardiola. But that will do it for us on transfer deadline day, and that will do it for today's episode as well. Disappointed to be knocked out of the Carabao Cup Semi Finals, of course, but we did make it through that tough tie in the FA Cup, where I think we'll find out our opponents. No, not yet. The replays have not occurred just yet. They'll be taking place in midweek. But we're getting to the climax stage of the season now, into the second half. 21 league games played. The Europa League will be returning soon, where of course we'll see who will face in the last 16. So still competing for the league, the FA Cup and the Europa League, despite getting knocked out of the League Cup today. That'll do it for today, guys. We'll be back in the next episode. Now out of the January transfer window, I really want to crack on and get into the second half of this season. I'll catch you for it very soon, and peace.